Okay, so I mentioned the asparagus, removing the top foliage for next year. So what I'll do first is just remove this little cage. It's actually just a tomato trellis that I opened up to keep the branches from going in the path. Nothing fancy. And a lot of people at the garden just throw out old tomato cages and stuff, so I kind of, I don't know if collect is the right word, but I pick them up. But the best tool for this would be a Japanese hand scythe, or like some sort of almost sickle-like, where you can just pull it through. I couldn't find one this morning, so I just have a little knife, but don't focus too much on what tool you use. Mostly it's that you do it. So nothing too fancy here, just gonna go in and cut down. I'm not gonna, I mean, with asparagus especially, you don't want to till it because it's a root crop. But just gonna go in and cut down all the old stems. And if there is any sort of like asparagus weevils or different insects inside the stems, like this will remove that. Hopefully, oh yeah. And in the process, don't kill your blueberries, because not that most people plant blueberries with their asparagus, but if you do, don't chop it down. But yeah, so nothing too fancy here, just going in and removing the foliage. Another thing I wanted to talk about is the kale, because when I first got this plot, there was one little kale plant, or actually it was kind of beefy, but and unfortunately it got killed in the process of converting it into the space that it is now. But I'm curious. Well, and then last year I had kale that I was going to leave over, but then the bunnies came in the winter and just ate everything, so it didn't survive. But I'm curious, now that there's no bunnies, and I'm not going to till it, if this red Russian kale or the Jacinto kale or whatnot, if it will be a perennial crop. Because I've read that a lot of kales are perennial species. So I'm curious if that'll come back. And if it does, then that'll just give me a boost up on the season that I can get fresh greens right away. So kind of exciting to see. One of those experiments I'm doing around the garden. But yeah.